Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Rosewater, where we got stuck at the end of the last episode trying to figure out how to open this box. I went and looked it up, and it's pretty... I won't say it's frustrating, but it's a bit numulous how this...
What a mess. Most of these seem to be show notes.
So basically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to come over here...
There's a list of names. Othello, Carondelet, Dissembling, Delphi. Wonder what that means.
So you're then supposed to combine the numbers with... Basically, the numbers are supposed to go in order of basically that list. So it's 7, 2, 1, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 2, 1, 6.
Well, I'll be.
Personally, I dislike this particular puzzle because it's a pretty obtuse one, especially since you don't know if you're going from left or you're going from right. So there should be an indicator on here somewhere which order you have to punch the multiple code into, because otherwise you're just sort of trying which way and what. So to be honest, so far out of all the puzzles I've played in the game so far, this is the one I disliked the most. Okay.
Quite a bit of cash in here. So Miss Otomi is skimming off the profits? Perhaps that book might shed some light on things. Seems to be some kind of... I'd better take a look at this.
Okay.
Huh. It seems Miss Otomi's keeping the extra money to invest in the show. She calls it a rainy day fund, and she has a separate space for emergency salary reserve. So Mrs. Davies was wrong. I ought to show her this. Maybe it'll calm her down.
Okay. So I know I got frustrated in the end of the last episode, but obtuse puzzles are something I always dislike. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I've watched a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and the thing that I've noticed while playing is that a good dungeon master will basically avoid overly obtuse puzzles because it can really sap the fun out of things. And you can see it when they try and do it on live play series on YouTube, where a DM will think it's fun to have a oh, I dropped hints of how you solved this puzzle. You just have to understand it properly, and it's no, it should be fairly straightforward to how to solve the puzzle. You shouldn't have to sit around for 30 seconds trying to figure out a secret code order. If it's going to be on the posters, have it on the posters in descending or ascending order, and you punch it in, and you have a clear indicator where you punch it in, so you stop frustration from building up. Okay. So let's show her this.
I found this ledger in Miss Otomi's trunk, along with some cash.
So I was right. This is exactly the proof I was looking for.
It's not quite what you think. Look at the entries.
Rainy Day Fund. Emergency Salary Reserve. Why, she isn't keeping this for herself.
She's setting it aside to help you all.
Oh dear, how embarrassing. What a fool I've been.
We all make mistakes. So now that you know your position is safe, will you get on stage and perform?
Yes, of course. Thank you for clearing up this misunderstanding. I really do appreciate it.
It wasn't a misunderstanding. You thought she was doing fraud. It's a misaccusation.
I don't think she'll be needing this anymore.
I mean, it's slander.
Here, how about this for some fuel?
Yes, this will work. Excuse me, I must go backstage and set up the prop.
Now I've started thinking about maybe I was a bit too harsh on the puzzle. I'm not a great puzzle person. I should have probably put the two together. I think the issue was that it wasn't... I wish you could have picked up the letter that had the 4 plays on it, so you had it in your inventory and you could look at it without having to constantly go back to the tent. That would probably solve it a lot, make it a lot easier, much straightforward, and allow you to piece together the clues a lot more easily.
Miss Hitomi?
Yes?
I think you can try a second rehearsal now.
Really? You sure?
On with the show.
Positive. Let's get this show going.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a beautiful and charming princess.
How I love my land. The people are kind, the water fresh, and the day sunny and bright.
The princess was loved and admired by everyone in the land, except one. An evil wizard coveted the kingdom and kidnapped the princess, intending to marry her and gain the throne.
Hark! You may think me evil, but wait until you discover my true intentions.
To ensure she could not escape, he summoned a terrifying dragon to guard her. However, all was not lost. For a young hero rose to the challenge.
I shall battle the dragon and save the princess. That is, if my dear mother lets me.
My dearest boy, proud as I am of your bravery, I worry so for your safety.
Fear not, mother, for I shall return victorious from battle.
And so the brave lad rode to the castle and confronted the mighty dragon.
Foul beast! Your end is nigh!
With the dragon defeated, our brave hero rescued the princess and vanquished the wizard.
Curses! My plans have been foiled.
Oh, my brave son has returned.
Ah, your highness, I am smitten by your beauty. Will you marry me?
Yes, yes, gladly will I marry you.
And they lived happily ever after. Well, at least we made it through to the end that time. Your fixes made a big difference. It's given me a lot to consider. Quentin has offered to do some rewrites. I'm sure he'll get us in good shape by next week.
Glad to be of service.
I'm curious to know how it all turns out. Send me a note at the Rosewater Post after you premiere.
Gladly.
We should be on our way. Miss Johnson has surely awoken from her nap by now.
True enough. Break a leg next week, Miss Hitomi.
Thank you. Safe travels.
We did what we could for Miss Hitomi and her folk. In the end, they formed a strange kind of family, and they seem determined to keep on going. We've kept on going too. The oppressive, arid heat is beginning to give way to fresh breezes and forested slopes as we leave the desert scrub behind and cross into the mountains. Onward and upward.
Okay. So we've got a mission. Yeah, really straightforward. Let's talk to Jake.
Hey, Jake?
Yeah, Harley?
In your professional opinion, do you think Miss Hitomi's show has what it takes to succeed?
Oh, sure. We really dazzled it up for him. If it ain't a hit, I'll eat my hat.
I appreciate the chat.
Anytime, Harley.
Hey, Nadine.
Hello, Harley.
Think Miss Hitomi's show will be a success?
I'd like to think so. We certainly left it better than when we found it.
We're slowing down again.
Do my eyes deceive me?
What is it?
That establishment by the roadside. It is flying the flag of New Spain. Come, Harley. Let us have a look inside. Ándale. Now we are talking. Come, let us have a drink, Harley.
Sure. Be right there.
Okay, so have a look around.
Gives the patrons something to look at, besides each other's ugly mugs. Hey, that kind of looks like Phil. Must have been a spill at... Looks like he's already... No point.
Okay.
Yuck.
Harley, what are you doing?
Okay.
Wonder if that's the mascot. Surprisingly well stocked for such a remote place. Not a bad-looking fellow.
Tell me, Harley, have you ever had real tequila?
You mean the stuff you put in Danny's chili?
No. That was mezcal. I am talking about the stuff made from blue agave. Bartender, 2 shots of your finest tequila, if you please. To what shall we toast?
Or friendship.
Let's raise a glass to our newfound friendship.
Now you're talking. Salud. What do you think?
I thought tequila was supposed to burn like hell.
Only the inferior kind. Good tequila is smooth as water. I like this place. Reminds me of home.
You must really miss it, huh?
It is a wound in my heart. But I cannot go home until I know I am not leading my men into a massacre at the border. Until I have more recruits and sufficient supplies and equipment, my only option is to stay here and plan. Yet, every moment I remain in exile, the corpse of the revolution rots.
To do something from here, write a manifesto, yeah.
Instead of lamenting your exile, why not do something about it from here?
Like what?
Send word to the people back in New Spain? Publish a manifesto? Something is better than nothing.
I am a fighter, not a writer.
That's what I once thought, too.
All well and good, but I am not like you. For me, the sword is mightier than the pen. Shall we have another?
Absolutely.
Bartender, 2 more, please.
I mean, it's better writing than doing nothing, to be honest. At least as long as you're productive and moving slowly towards your goal,
This
you're still
time,
making progress.
I have something. To the success of the new Spanish Revolution. Viva la Revolución de Nueva España. Salud.
Yeah, the problem was he woke the guy up on the outside.
La revolución. General Márquez.
Hernández.
Friend of yours?
Friend? That man is a traitor. Traidor. Toma.
Hey!
After him. Do not let that snake escape.
I think this got complicated.
Bill?
Over here. He cannot have gone far. There is no way out of here, but it is too dark to see back there.
Who is that? And what's happening right now?
No time to explain. We need to find Hernandez quickly. That traitorous bastard is hiding in the dark like the rat he is. We must flush him out so he cannot take us by surprise.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. So, let's take this because it looks like a useful thing to.
It's heavier than it looks.
Okay. Let's take this soaked
Smells of elk.
cloth, tie it around the pole,
There.
pick it up, set that on fire. That makes like the best sauce.
Be careful.
That's better.
Okay.
The blood trail ends here. He's either in that back room or behind those crates. You take one, I will take the other.
So the blood leads up here.
There's a 50% chance he's hiding behind those crates.
Let's go with search here.
Aha!
Phil, wait!
Wait for what? This man is a traitor, pure and simple. And there is only one way to deal with traitors.
Por favor, no me mates. Te lo ruego. Tengo familia.
What's he saying?
He's begging for his life. Says he has a family. Clearly a lie, or he would be with them instead of face down in his drink. No me mientas, bastardo.
I am not lying, I swear.
Oh, so you finally learned some English, did you? What other tricks have you learned since you deserted, I wonder?
I feel like I'm missing something. What's the story here?
The story is this man is a deserter. He abandoned his compadres when they needed him the most.
No, it is not like that.
Cállate, cabrón.
Look, I helped you find the man. At least tell me what happened.
Fine. Hernandez was one of the revolution's best defenders. I thought he was loyal.
I was. I am.
But he was among the first to flee when the Spanish army came to Jicotea.
No, I can explain.
So can I. You chose to run like a coward instead of staying and fighting like a man. It takes a low sword to abandon someone who is counting on you. You said so yourself, Harley.
That's true, but everyone deserves a chance to tell their side of the story.
I do not understand. When Stokes left us to the Autumn, you weren't interested in hearing his explanation. Yet now, you're willing to listen to this traitor?
Stokes was different. His guilt was obvious.
was plain to see that Stokes was a bastard.
So the difference is that you were there to see it for yourself.
Well,
What you are saying is you do not believe me.
I never said that.
Stokes was practically a stranger, with no allegiance of loyalty. Hernandez was a brother in arms. So yes, it is different. His betrayal is far, far worse. Why is my word not enough for you to accept that?
Fine. So you're just going to kill him?
No, I am not just going to kill him. I am bringing a traitor to justice.
General, please. We were outnumbered 10 to 1. It was hopeless. I have a family who needs me. What was I meant to do?
You were meant to fight for your freedom. For your family's freedom. To die for it if necessary. Do you know how many of your brothers gave their lives so you could run off and make merry in some alpine cantina?
As many as gave their lives so you could do the same.
What? How dare you?
I heard about the massacre at Jicotea, and yet I see you standing here before me. Did you stand and fight? Did you die gloriously for freedom? No, you ran, just as I did, because there was no victory possible. The only difference is that you justify your cowardice by calling it a retreat.
I mean, I don't really agree with that, because he fled before everybody else did, so... I don't want to be part of this. Let's go with this. I mean, like, he is a deserter. He fled to save his own neck, rather than fighting. He didn't fight and then flee. He basically fled. Let's go with that one.
You know, he's not completely wrong.
I did not run away. I assessed the situation and made strategic decisions. That is what a general does. If our front line had not broken and scattered before the enemy, more lives might have been saved in an orderly retreat. But I preserved what forces I could to fight another day. I wept for every man, woman, and child who died at Jicotea. I should have died alongside them.
And so did I. I ran to Vespuccia, just like you, because New Spain is no place now for revolutionaries. Was I a coward? Yes, and I cannot escape that shame. If you feel you must execute me for that, then so be it. But a traitor? Never. I love my country, and my heart still beats for her freedom. I will gladly return to fight for it, if you will have me back.
Ay, Hernandez, why do you do this to me? I never doubted your loyalty until you broke. But now... What would you do if you were in my position, Harley?
I mean, he's a deserter, he's not a traitor. Like, he's a coward because he fled the battle. But he didn't betray the revolution to the enemy, he just basically deserted. I mean, it's like one of those really complicated topics, because you can desert and still remain loyal. If you're a coward, it's one of those hard things. I'd let him take care of his family. Give him a second chance to rejoin the fight. Yeah.
One moment of weakness shouldn't define your whole life. We're all better than who we are on our worst day. Seems to me your government would like nothing better than to have one less rebel in the world. Why give them the satisfaction? Give him a chance to redeem himself. Let him rejoin the fight.
Very well. I am rebuilding my army and preparing to return home to liberate New Spain. The revolution is not dead, but she needs soldiers to defend her. I will send word to you here, at this saloon, when it is time to report for duty. Until then, go back to your family.
Gracias, General. Gracias.
You should not just be thanking me, eh? You owe your life to my wise friend here.
Thank you, señorita.
Don't mention it. Now, can we put this all behind us and get back to the bar? I'm mighty thirsty all of a sudden.
Indeed. Our friend can treat your wound, Hernandez. Perhaps afterwards you will join us for a drink. In honor of the martyred dead of Jicotea.
Why don't you go on ahead? I'd like a minute to collect my thoughts.
Very well.
I mean, the problem was with Stokes, it was really clear. Actually, I said I probably picked the wrong dialogue option. I sort of demanded explanations for him. Then we found out everything else that had been going on afterwards, which was that I don't know. It just feels, yeah. New Spain Star Cantina. Carrying with justice. Carrying in the dark. National family waiting for him somewhere. He felt it was ever fit for Sochi. He said he's not now. But does not mean he is not needed. If everything is a fight, then what the hell is everyone fighting for? Phil came down for the ledge and decided not to be an excuse today. So now he's giving us serve the cause and small instead of belatedly joining the dead. But enough dead there already without adding to score. Seasoned by experience and regret to sober up a little, he's added to be more valuable recruit. Okay.
Oh good, you're back. We're low on food. If we want to eat tonight, we'll need to hunt for more. I'll let y'all decide what we're after. Round here the fishing's pretty good, and there's plenty of rabbits and pheasants. Personally, I'd suggest rabbits. Easiest to catch and prepare.
I wouldn't be opposed to some pheasant. Danny makes a mean stew.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What kind of fish are common around here?
Mostly salmon.
Ah, then fishing gets my vote.
Yes, I vote fishing as well.
And you, Leger?
That sounds good. Pheasant would be tasty. I could go with some fish. Let's go with fish.
Salmon gets my vote too.
Then it's decided. The three of you who wanted salmon, take the poles in the wagon and get fishing. Rest of us will start making camp.
I have a good feeling about this place. Let us cast our lines here.
Here? All right, then.
Have you ever fished before, Harley?
Would you believe this is my first time?
Do not worry. It is not difficult to pick up. Just cast your line and wait for a tug. When you feel the bite, secure the line.
You want to reel a fish in as quickly as possible. If it puts up a fight, pull your rod in the opposite direction to where the fish is going. Once you've got it back in the center, you can start reeling it in again.
All right, here goes nothing. Damn, it got away. I got... Shoot! Slippery little devil.
Okay, so how do we do this?
I think I got a bite. Damn, it got away.
Like, how do we do this?
So how did you two fare?
I caught 2 fish.
I only one.
I didn't catch anything.
Perhaps this was not as favorable a location as
Like,
it
how are we
seemed.
supposed to do that fishing game?
What was that?
Oh no.
Carajo!
Shh, don't shout. Bears don't like loud noises.
Well, I do not like bears.
What are we supposed to do?
Stay quiet. Move away very slowly.
I think we should run while we still can.
Back away slowly.
I'm backing away some more.
Good idea. Mierda! Run!
It seems to be working. Come, keep moving away.
So we lost food. Fantastic.
Santa Maria. I do not think my heart has ever beat so fast.
We should be thankful that we escaped.
The others will not be happy when they learn we have returned with nothing.
I'm sure they'll understand, given the circumstances. Let's go back to camp.
Hope there was enough for everybody. I tried to make as much stew as I could.
Don't fret, Danny boy. A small taste's better than none at all. I tell you, getting to El Presidio will be worth it just to eat at a restaurant again.
And I could not figure out how to do that fishing game.
We're lucky the Fortines left us some of their spare jerky at least.
Don't know if lucky is the word. So, I've been meaning to ask. What's everybody planning on doing with their share of Clark's stash?
Jake, is that something we should really be talking about?
Look, I ain't deaf. I've known about your little treasure hunt for a while. Far as I'm concerned, that's your business, and I want no part of it. You paid me to get you to El Presidio, and that's what I'm doing.
I think we should cut Mr. Loau in. Well, he knows about it. You're better than most, Miss Johnson. Yeah.
That's noble of you, Miss Johnson. Most folk would demand a cut.
I ain't most folk. I was taught to earn an honest living, and that's what I intend to do.
Anyhow, the question stands.
I think I'd like to buy a new pair of six-shooters. Maybe a horse. It'd be nice to travel the countryside, too.
Have we not been doing that?
Well, sure, but I meant for pleasure. What about you, Phil?
My share will go to the revolution, of course. With full coffers, we will more readily find willing allies.
That's good of you, Phil. I think I'd like to open my own clinic.
Dr. Redbird, eh?
Well, no, I can't practice as a doctor without a medical license. But I could continue as an herbalist, or maybe a midwife.
So get your medical license. You're already worth 10 of those frontier quacks out there. They're all practicing with some scrap of parchment they paid some fancy school for. You could just write in for one. You'd never have to attend a class or show your face.
Perhaps that's something to consider. You sure you aren't interested in joining us, Miss Johnson? The extra money could let you stay in one place for a while.
An interesting thought, but I don't mind moving around. At least until I find something worth staying put for.
What about you, Harley?
You go first, Jake.
I'm still thinking. Let's hear your answer.
All right. Well, so far, the money I've earned from appearances and touring the shows kept me quite comfortable. Not to mention the gifts from my adoring public. So I'm thinking I'll probably donate my share to orphans.
Right. Orphans. Suppose you've got a reputation for generosity to uphold, considering that gentleman you already gave them.
Why, yes, that's right.
You donated a mine to children? For what purpose? To work in it?
No, obviously they can use the profits for their own upkeep, clothing and whatnot.
Yes, but how? Who is doing the mining?
Look, I answered the question already. It's your turn now, Harley.
Rent out a room and keep writing stories. Save up for a piece of land. Keep travelling. See the world. Let's go with that one. Live it out, rent a room and keep writing stories. No, but I think he liked it. Yeah.
Having some extra money would be a good excuse to keep traveling. Hell, maybe I can get out of Vespuccia and see the world.
Sounds like a great idea.
All right, folks, I'm turning in. See y'all in the morning.
Let's see what the diary says today. Okay. Fistfield Creek. Interesting.
You okay, Nadine? You seem lost in thought.
Oh, I was just contemplating what Miss Johnson said about me getting a license. I never really thought about it before. On one hand, it's exciting to think about all the possibilities. But it's also just as terrifying to consider the unknown.
You should go for it.
Well, I think Miss Johnson has a point. You should try for your license. Anyway, isn't considering the unknown all part of being a doctor?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I'll give it some more thought. It seems I'm sleepier than I thought. I should get to bed.
Fair enough. Get some rest.
Good night, Harley. Please excuse me. I'll see you all in the morning.
Glad to see you and Lisa Lou getting along so well.
She's a great pup. Suddenly the road feels a little less lonely. Ain't that right, girl?
Good girl. Doing all right, Danny?
I think so, yeah. You talking about traveling got me thinking. There's so many places I'd love to see. Europe, for instance, or even China. It'd be great to see where my parents came from.
Suppose you'd have to convince Jake to take his show international?
Not necessarily. Can't stay in his shadow forever, after all. I'm feeling pretty tired. Think I'll hit the hay.
How are you feeling, Phil?
Well, I have had much to think about of late. The incident with Hernandez has left me uneasy. Perhaps I was too rash in dealing with him. At that moment, I felt sparing him was the right thing to do, but was it? And what of the revolution? Or the mystery of the fort's Orem shipments? I have yet to hear from Lieutenant General de la Vega regarding either. So many questions and so few answers.
Sounds like you really do have a lot on your mind.
Indeed. Would you like to join me in a toast to the fallen?
Gladly.
A los caídos. Salud.
Salud.
I believe I will retire for the evening. Buenas noches.
Looks like you and I are the last ones standing for a change.
Imagine that. You going to bed?
Guess so. You?
Not just yet. Time to get in my nightly walk.
All right. Enjoy yourself. See you in the morning.
Good night, Leger. Come on, girl.
Morning. We ready to head out?
We should be once Lola returns. She said she was going to go scout down the road a ways.
That was a while ago. Maybe we should go check on her.
I'll go look for her.
You sure?
Yeah. Be back in no time. The breakfast fire's still going. Everything all right?
Oh, yeah. Just some damn vandals making trouble.
Vandals? I don't follow.
Just have a look. Somebody's desecrated this traveler's shrine.
What's a traveler's shrine?
A custom of the road. Folks set 'em up for lots of reasons. Some think they bring luck. Others use them to pray to St. Christopher. Sometimes they have gifts or supplies you can use, provided you leave something for the next traveler.
What kind of person would mess with something meant to help people?
1 second, folks.
Plenty of folk in my experience. Sorry way of the world. We gotta fix this. Whoever did this probably just scattered everything around. We can search the area for what's missing.
What exactly are we looking for?
Well, the icon of St. Christopher, for one. See all that writing on the boulder next to the shrine? There was probably something people used to make those marks, but that's also gone. And the offering box is empty, so we should put something in before we go.
All right, let's get to work.
Okay.
That must be where the supplies go. Someone left some oranges, but they've gone moldy. A makeshift alcove. Fine place for an icon. Looks like this is where the writing tool is supposed to go.
Let's go.
That wouldn't help anybody. That wouldn't... Nope. That would...
Okay.
It's covered in writing. Mostly place names, but a few messages here and there. What's all this writing mean?
Folk usually write the name of their destination on a nearby surface.
Okay. Let's look back this way quickly.
I'm heading back to camp for a spell.
All right.
Nice little pond.
Keep your distance. That's poison ivy.
Okay, so...
Hey.
What is it?
What is St. Christopher the saint of?
Travelers, I guess. Also looks out for athletes and people with toothaches.
Next time I'm on my way to get a tooth pulled after a rough boxing match, I'll keep him in mind. What sort of things do people usually leave as offerings?
Some useful supplies to help the next traveler in need. Ideally, something that won't attract animals, so not food. I'd suggest drinking water or candles or something along those lines.
We haven't had much chance to speak one-on-one. I'd like to know something about you.
This ain't the time to swap personal anecdotes. Let's focus on what we're doing first, then maybe we'll chat.
We should...
I agree.
Okay, so...
Better to keep that dry.
One second, folks. Okay, folks, so we can't go that way. There's nothing there.
Hey.
What is...
We should...
Okay. Pick up the empty bottle.
This bottle... Watch out for the broken glass there.
People have no regard.
There's a big hole. What's this? Looks like I found St. Christopher.
Good.
Thank you, Christopher.
Interesting look.
Very interesting. Especially if you want to poison somebody.
Okay.
The tree's covered in moss. A pile of dead leaves. Hey, a piece of chalk. What do you suppose felled this log?
Probably a storm. No claw or teeth marks.
Nothing inside. Yuck.
Probably a squirrel or chipmunk.
Okay. So got the water. Just going to go and get the water. I know the developers said that there's basically lots of possible outcomes depending on how you choose things and that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's... I mean, I wouldn't drink that water if it were me.
Hope you ain't thinking of drinking that.
Something wrong?
That water's stagnant. Unless you want to be running out both ends, you better boil it first.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's stagnant water. It's like super dangerous.
This shouldn't take long.
I mean, I wouldn't put glass cold, like that explodes. Like you shouldn't put cold glass near a temperature it causes shattering.
There. There you are, St. Christopher. Back where you belong.
Patron saint of travellers, the destitute and the lost. I'm always particularly partial to him myself.
There. Now the next thirsty traveler can have some clean drinking water.
Yeah, for about the few days where it's still fresh. I mean, water goes stale over time.
Right? I think that's everything.
Not quite.
You're going to write something?
Yep.
What do you mean by wherever?
Simple. I'm asking for safe passage to wherever I end up.
And where's that?
Damned if I know. Right now, the only way I'm going is forward. We all got our paths in this life. I'm just trying to forge mine.
I get what you're saying. Not having anything to tie you down is nice, in a way.
Speaking from experience?
You could say that. I've never put down deep roots. I'd only been in Rosewater a day before we started this trip. Before that, I lived in Pierre a few years after moving from Rampton, but I grew up in New Bretagne.
Lamplight City? So you're one of them tough gals, huh?
Well, there was a time I boxed under the name Spitfire Harley.
No kidding. Guess that explains a few things. We should head back to camp and get a move on. Sun's already higher than I'd like.
After you, Miss Johnson.
Coming up on the pass, Hellfire Pass, is probably going to be a major story event. But we are in the coach once again. Yeah. Traveller's Shrine, St. Christopher. Yes, very nice. We're going to put a cut in here, folks. I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Rosewater. And we'll see how the story goes. With all the variables and stuff that we do along the way. Have a nice time, folks. Goodbye.